The winter session of Parliament this year was marked by daily protests, disruptions and even scuffles that led to an FIR against Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi. This came a year after the previous winter session ended with protests and record-high suspension of MPs. According to data from PRS Legislative Research and Lok Sabha Secretariat, this session was one of the least productive since the Narendra Modi-led NDA government took office in 2014. The Lok Sabha recorded only 52% productivity, with just 62 hours of work completed out of the scheduled time, making it the least productive session since the monsoon session of 2023. In contrast, the previous budget session after the general elections was far more effective, clocking over 115 working hours and achieving 135% productivity. Of the limited time spent functioning during this session, only 23 hours were dedicated to legislative business. The Rajya Sabha fared even worse, with productivity dropping to 39% of its scheduled time, amounting to just 44 hours of work. This was a significant decline compared to the 93 hours of work achieved in the previous session, which saw 112% productivity. Legislative business in Rajya Sabha was limited to just 9 hours, further highlighting the inefficiency of this session. While the Lok Sabha held 20 sittings, the highest for any session this year, it lost 65 hours to protests and interruptions. This marks one of the highest losses in recent years, with only 2 sessions since 2014 losing more time. To compensate, the Lok Sabha sat for an additional 22 hours. This was still less than 34 extra hours during the previous budget session. When it came to legislative activity, this session recorded one of the lowest outputs in recent history. Only 5 bills were introduced and 4 were passed. Among these were the 2 bills related to One Nation, One Election proposal, which have been referred to a joint parliamentary committee for further review. The Waqf Amendment Bill, initially expected to be tabled, was deferred to the next session. Despite the disruptions, no bill in the Lok Sabha was discussed for less than 5 hours. Key legislations such as the Banking Law Amendment Bill 2024 and the Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024 saw detailed discussions lasting nearly 5 and 7.5 hours, respectively. Only 61 start questions were answered orally in the Lok Sabha compared to 86 in the previous session. This reflects the overall inefficiency of the winter session, which, despite the highest number of sittings this year, was among the least productive sessions in recent memory.